12:04 on the Oil Stream. Thank you very much for being here. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tell your friends how easy it is to stream the station all day long. And if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel. And if you have not yet ever commented, if you're subscribed to the channel, you can comment as well. Sobkirk over in the chat says, EST releasing a shirt, take my money. EST could release a line of plastic clothes hangers, and I would likely get them. That's a good idea to hang all of our shirts on. That is not a bad idea at all. Tommy Gazzola, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Are you muted, Nanso? Tommy, are you muted on your end? No, we got a problem with Tommy. Hang on, Tommy. Nanso will come back and get it sorted out. Oh, there we go. Tommy's going to reconnect. There we go.
How about now?
Yeah, we got you now, buddy. There we go.
Hey.
Didn't even need you, Nanso. You got it done. You fixed it, no problem. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
As I was muted, I was saying the T-shirt looks great. I think the design is pretty spiffy as it covers my face.
There it is. Keep talking. Oh, look, the T-shirt's talking like Tommy.
Oh, my goodness.
Like Tommy. Yeah, that is the
beautiful voice.
If you missed it on the Nielson show this morning, we did debut this T-shirt. It's been selling pretty well throughout the day so far, but we've got our Wayne Gretzky peel-off thing for the playoffs showing up on Friday morning, so we decided to stick with that theme, and we took Win the Whole effing Thing from the movie Major League, a team that was also disrespected throughout the season. And we've thrown it on a T-shirt. And then we've got an online store going now. So just go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com, click on EST Playoff T-shirt, I think it says. And you hop online. You can order. You can pay right online as well. You don't have to email Maddie and go through that whole process. You can get it all done right online. And yeah, I think it looks pretty sharp. Don't you, Tommy?
I really like it. It's a neat look, good motto, and then I like how you snuck the EST logo in there on the puck. It's good. It's very apropos for this upcoming postseason, which is going to be upon us very quickly here.
That's really all they have left to do. I mean, they've been so close twice. Yeah. Just go win the whole freaking thing. So got to be careful that I don't say the full F word. That's why we put F and N on the shirt. But yeah, you can hop online, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Click on EST Playoff Shirt, and it's literally, you select your size, you go to checkout, you choose in-province ship it, out-of-province shipping, or pick up at the office, and you can do Apple Pay, you enter your credit card, whatever, and then boom, it's done in just a matter of moments. So, yeah, it should be good. We're going to get some up for the staff. Hopefully by tomorrow we can be wearing them around, so it should be good.
And we could put that new T-shirt press thing that we bought to work, and I think Awanik's going to take a real liking to it. He likes laminating stuff. Yeah,
I like doing laminate. I cannot wait to do the first run on that T-shirt press. It's
we'll have to do a video.
Yeah. We'll definitely do a video.
And
definitely.
You know what? I was looking at the site today, so it's on the top banner on our website. If you're wondering how to get it, and the price is pretty good too, because now T-shirts in this economy have been ridiculously priced, and something like that, some places might charge like $50. We're not doing that. So you can get a good T-shirt, very appropriate for the playoffs, support EST and the Oilers in the postseason.
At some of these live watch parties, those T-shirts are going to be plastered all over there. Eh?
I look forward to seeing them on broadcasts throughout the city.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. All right, Tommy, how was BP? It is the Boston Pizza Oil Stream. How was BP's on Saturday for that Oilers Kings game?
Awesome turnout. Big thank you to the Nasties. Big thank you to new listeners and people that we've met all season long at BP 170th. BP Clairview has been great, and then Dusty, you and I going on location to different BP locations outside of 170th and Clairview for the afternoon oil stream. But we had a really strong turnout. Sticky Rice was there. Rip City Stat, Big Uke, Callan Sarah, Grumpy Cat, Quentin, Callan Sarah's other son. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Who else? Kelvin and Marge were there. it was a really good turnout. And
Saturday afternoon action at BP's, right?
Yeah. And we had a lot of Tony was great, and the staff was awesome. So it's just the regular season portion of On Locations is now complete. It's been awesome. I can't thank everybody enough. And we really do genuinely, sincerely appreciate those who come out and hang out with us and support our partners as well.
All right. We'll have, we'll get the whole playoff schedule out as soon as we have the Oilers schedule locked in. We'll let you know where Tommy will be for pre and post game as well. But let's dive in to your Popeyes spicy headlines today. And there's a bunch of different places to go. One would be the skate this morning. We'll get to the line combinations and things, but positives, I guess. Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman both skating with the team today at practice. Man, that's got to be a good sign with the playoffs just under a week away. Very good sign. Now, and we'll get into this stuff with Draisaitl because we talked to him after the skate. He was out there quite a while, but that's very encouraging. I don't know if it's a sign that he's going to be back for game one, Dusty. Yeah, and I saw a lot of people very excited. I posted a great video. I started with, on his knees because that's where we're pretty sure he suffered the injury. And kind of worked his way up. And in the video, you could see him do a full rotation on a drill. So you could kind of get an assessment for yourself. So let's start with the positive. He's on the ice. He's skating with the team, taking a full morning skate. That's good. Talking to him and listening to what he had to say, listening to what Chris Knobloch had to say, because Knobloch said that he anticipates Draisaitl's timeline to be sometime in round number 1. Okay. And then you listen to Leon and he goes, I'm paraphrasing him. He had a long, 10-minute scrum, but he said it felt like it was something more serious than other stuff he's dealt with, where he had to take a step back. He knew right away. We've witnessed him play through some pretty gnarly injuries because he's tough. He'll play through stuff, but this one was different where it has kept him out. And that's why I'm a little bit leery that he's probably not going to be ready for game 1. But you know what? That's okay though. To me, it's not great. Don't get me wrong. But if we're hearing that Leon Draisaitl is going to be back sometime in the first round, that means, I don't want to take anything away from, and Hyman's probably, he's going to be questionable for the final game of the regular season, but you have to think Zach Hyman's going to be ready to go by the playoffs. Dickinson is going to be reevaluated at the end of the regular season, so they might not have him. But, as long as they have Leon Draisaitl going into round 2, I feel pretty good about it. I think I'd be pretty excited if I'm an Oilers fan hearing that Draisaitl is going to be good to go at some point in round 1. Yeah. I think at least. It's as he continues to skate more with the team. Listen, he wants to play game 1. Let's not kid ourselves. He probably wants to play tonight, for crying out loud. But knowing him as long as we have and listening to him, I think what happened to him was enough that he recognizes, and he did say it. He's like, no, this needs time. It needs to heal properly. So. Now, as I was walking back from the rink, I'm sitting there going, I don't get the sense he's going to be back right at the start of the series, but he's a freak. What if he just shows up in the lineup for game 1? Now, that leads to other thoughts. If he does that, at what percentage is he? How effective can he be? He's a playoff menace, man. He brings his best game to the playoffs, which is amazing. So, I was bouncing those ideas through my mind, in the 5 minutes it took to walk back from the rink. But just the tea leaves and reading them and the buzz around the rink and watching and observing, I feel like they're being very cautious about this, as they should. And it's very real that he may not play game 1. And I'm starting to go, maybe a couple games in, depending on what situation they're in. If they're up a game or 2, let them rest. If they're down, we're tied, maybe you got to thrust them in there. Beyond Draisaitl, Hyman, not tonight, questionable for Thursday, but is the vibe down there that he's going to be good to go for game 1 of the playoffs?
Seemed to be. I mean, it didn't look like anything was really hampering him. Watching him, I have some video I need to send to Benny to post on our socials. I took some of him, and he was going through the drills. He seemed to be in good spirits. Didn't seem to be wincing. I watched him for a few minutes to get an idea of what level he's at in terms of health. And I'm assuming he plays in that game against the Vancouver Canucks. He probably wants to play one more game before the playoffs, depending what his health is, obviously. And then Chris Knobloch also said it, Dusty, like they are in we need to win mode because they want to focus on potentially locking down first in the division, which they've kind of pissed away with that loss in LA on Saturday. So I get the sense we'll probably see Hyman on Thursday night. Now, do you want to get into Dickinson? I do want
to get into Dickinson for sure. We'll get to Jones. Jones is the type of guy that you probably would like around in the playoffs, and they're not going to have him probably for at least the first round. But what is Dickinson? That stinks. I mean, he's been so good in the role that they need him to be in. What is the latest on Dickinson?
I didn't see these guys around the rink myself today, but I have, eyes and ears everywhere kind of thing. And I've heard that Dickinson's been in a walking boot and that Jones has been limping as well. So 3 or 4 weeks was what we got for Jones from Chris Knobloch. That's tough because he's a veteran guy and he's done what's been asked of him. Physical, bring energy, on the forecheck hard, and it's paid off for him in recent weeks. And then Dickinson, that shot that caught him, it looked so innocuous, Dusty, but the area that it hit him, and it could be one of those, the sensitive spot where the knee, your knee pad or your shin pad doesn't have all the protection, and it could just catch you in that one fragile spot. It almost looks like that's where he took that shot. So they're going to reevaluate. That's what Chris Knobloch said. They're going to reevaluate Dickinson after Thursday's game against Vancouver. That means he's not going to be playing the last 2 games and try to assess if he could go for the first game of the first round. But that's worrisome and also has me thinking he might not be ready for a little bit either.
Rip City Step over on the Nasty Chat says, send Dickinson to Germany quick. Yeah, that would be good. He's over there. Leon just got back. Luka Doncic was over. That's where you got to go. You got to go over there to get the right treatment. And hopefully, so what we do know is that they're going to have to overcome some injuries early in round 1 at least. And then we'll see where they go from there. And what is the latest on Jones?
3 to 4 weeks. This is what we got from Chris Knobloch.
So a Knobloch timeline of 3 to 4 weeks.
So see you in September.
We're talking conference final.
I'm joking.
At the earliest, then probably with Jones. Now, if the lineup is fully healthy, it's not 100% sure that Jones would be in it if it's completely healthy. Right. But still, I think in the playoffs, if you want a guy that's going to play a straight line game, he certainly fits that bill. So that's not ideal.
If it's a silver lining. Yeah, if it's the silver lining, Dusty, Colton Dock being healthy is a good thing. That
helps that role, right?
Yeah.
And Frederick's been, steadily physical for the last little while as well. Just sticking with, so here are your lines for tonight's game. McDavid between Savoy and Podkolzin. Nuge between Roslovic and Ike Howard. We'll get to Howard in a second. Szymanski between Frederick and Doc. And then Henrique with Kapanen and Curtis Lazar. Hyman and Draisaitl. We're taking reps with Michaels, who was signed here recently. And then Ekholm, Bush, Nurse, Murphy, Wallman, and Emberson on the back end. Connor Ingram will start for the Oilers tonight. Just following along here with your Popeyes spicy headlines. 3-piece bone-in chicken, plump, juicy, hand-battered, marinated for 12 hours, available for just $8 for the 3 pieces at all Popeyes locations. Ike Howard did get called up. It's going to make sense to slide him right in to the spot where Jones was with Nuge. They're also going to get Roslovic up on the right side on that line for this game. This is a lineup that when you look what's behind them, you really could use some offensive pop here from Nuge and Roslovic and Howard, who's had a really good year as a rookie in the American Hockey League. Tommy, what are you hearing about what people think about the way he's played so far? And obviously, probably not a playoff guy, once they get Hyman back, and we'll see what happens with the rest of this group. But what are expectations for Howard with the way he's played so far?
Well, one of the things that was discussed is the quality of player that they have now in Ike Howard compared to the guy that played the first couple months for the team up here is superior because of that experience as a pro. And when you're a point of game guy in your first pro season, even if it's on the farm, Dusty, that's significant. And this scenario with Ike Howard has really built up some similarities to what Matt Savoy did last year. And now listen, like Savoy's 200-foot game, that'd probably be the first response people would have. Savoy killed penalties. Savoy learned how to play in his own zone. Yeah, that's true. But Savoy also put up a lot of points last year. He was an all-star in the AHL. Ike Howard has received recognition. I think he was player of the month at one point in the AHL. So, I mean, he's gotten his flowers for what he's done in his first pro year. And I'm encouraged and eager to see what he does today. I want to see if maybe his confidence with his puck touches is better than when we saw him in one of the call-ups midway through the season. And I'm curious to see if he has more of a nose for the net and some added feistiness, having, grown a bit as a player. By all accounts, everything that's gone on in Bakersfield for Howard has been very positive. So let's see if that translates right now, because they need him. They're giving him a great opportunity. And if there's, there's another thing here I thought about throughout the season too. If people get down on Howard for having to go to the minors this year, I think that would be a little bit preemptive. I think that would be a little bit unnecessary. Like, I think this is a guy that,
it's a natural step for so many players, man. Like, it just,
yeah. I've had some people say that they don't think that he's going to pan out. It's like, hang on a sec. He's 20 years old.
How could you possibly say he's not going to pan out when he's in his first year of professional hockey?
He's 22, pardon me, but first year of pro hockey and
doing well.
Let him cook. Yeah, let him cook.
Now the NHL is a different beast. Sure. He's a different style of player of Matt Savoy. Matt Savoy has made it where he had a good offensive year as a rookie last year in the American Hockey League too. But Matt Savoy, I think, is further developed in the defensive side of the game. And that's how he sort of earned the coach's trust to eventually get more offensive opportunity. I think we all know Howard's not the type of guy who's going to come in and kill penalties for you for half a year and then eventually, get more opportunity offensively. More of an offensive thoroughbred, I think, is what you're probably looking at with Ike Howard, which is one of the questions that I sort of have here, Tommy, is, and this was brought up to us on the Nielson show this morning. Like, do they have enough faith in Howard that they don't sign Roslovic because they think Howard can come in and score 20 next year or 15 to 20 as a rookie, or can you sign Roslovic and still find room in the top 9 for Ike Howard next year?
That's the dilemma, I think, or a dilemma. Roslovic is bigger than Howard, and I don't think it's just a little bit. Like, you might look at the stat line and go, well, Ike Howard, what is it? 5'11". They have him, 5'10". He's listed at. Jack Roslovic's listed at 6 feet. Jack Roslovic's a bigger guy than Ike Howard when you see them close together. And even though Roslovic doesn't play tough, if you will, for a lack of a better term, he plays bigger than Ike Howard. Whereas Ike Howard darts in and out. I don't know, maybe he could develop an ability to play a bit bigger, but I think there are some advantages that a Roslovic has over Ike Howard, on top of the fact that if you were to keep Roslovic around, you've got depth on your right side. I look at next year and I go, well, what kind of team do you want to have? And are you okay with having some smaller forwards? Because you already have Savoy. You better have some big boys around these guys to help them out. So I could see him in the top 9, Dusty, maybe on the third line, and let him grow, develop. He will make some mistakes if he's in the NHL next year on the full-time basis. But if you truly believe in him, I could see top 9 being more realistic for Ike Howard.
Like, if they were to keep Roslovic and Dickinson as unrestricted free agents this summer, your top 8 of your top 9 next year, and I'm not putting them in lines, I'm just giving you the names: McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, Hyman, Savoy, Podkolzin, Roslovic, Dickinson. And then the 9th one could be Ike Howard if you don't go and sign anybody else, right? Then Kapanen is a fourth liner, and Doc is a fourth liner, and Frederick is a fourth liner. So, I don't know. We'll see. Now, if they were to go out and sign another guy, like let's say they keep Roslovic and then sign another top 9 caliber forward, then if I'm Mike Howard, I'm a little worried because where's that ice time going to come from?
Fair point.
All right. 780-218-9999. Got a few questions I want to get to. If you are listening, you can chime in as well. Stupid Peter texts in and says, from the games I've watched in Baco, I think Hudson has a better chance to be full-time over Howard. He's got more of an all-round game, in my opinion. Hudson would be the Roslovic replacement for me. Hampton Steve texts in. This comes back around to the Dickinson injury and some of the things that we were looking at for this team right off the top. Does the Dickinson injury force the Oilers to run McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nuge down the middle? Could go with the following lines in the playoffs: 22, 97, and 18, 92, 29, and 28, and then 81 with Nuge and Kapanen, and then 34, 19, and 10. I mean, still have Henrique. They've been playing Szymanski as a third line center. Tommy, I feel like a Dickinson injury doesn't necessarily force them to put those 3 vets down the middle. I don't think they would go there just yet.
And again, the timeline is murky, or the outlook is murky on Dickinson's timeline and Draisaitl's timeline. So I again don't know. This is just my thought. If those two, if Dickinson might be ready before Leon, or if Leon's ready before Dickinson, are they ready at the same time? We might next week, when the playoffs are about to start, be at a point where they don't even have to worry about that because both guys potentially could be healthy, or maybe Dickinson's ready to go and Leon's not, or maybe Leon's ready and Dickinson's not. So there's so many variables right now that that scenario might not even present itself, but I understand thinking about it, given what's gone on or where we're at right now with this situation.
All right, let's dive into your Play Alberta numbers game, and we got to take a look at this playoff race in the West and see where these teams are going to settle in. So right now, the Vegas Golden Knights are sitting in first. They're a point up on the Edmonton Oilers. So Vegas's destiny is in their own hands at this point. But that can quickly flip. Vegas is in action tonight against Winnipeg. Edmonton obviously gets Colorado. Hackstall has confirmed a few moments ago that Cale Makar is not going to return for this game. So there will be no Cale Makar tonight for the Colorado Avalanche. The Oilers right now with 90 points. The Ducks with 90 points. And then the Los Angeles Kings sitting here with 87 points. Now the Kings do have a game in hand on the Golden Knights, on the Oilers, and on the Ducks. And they finish with the Kraken tonight, the Canucks on Tuesday, and then the Flames on Thursday. Tommy, I mean, if the Ducks don't really get it together here, we could be really looking at a Edmonton, Los Angeles first round series again, can't we?
Don't. Yes, but don't. I'm not. That's the one thing I think I said it on Saturday. I just don't want to see it. I'm kind of with fans fatigue. I've changed my mind. I think a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, I don't really care. And then we saw the Kings on Saturday. And I'm like, no, you know what? Let's get one of these other teams.
Anaheim gets Minnesota and Nashville.
Yeah. And Nashville's right in the thick of things. And that loss to LA, really kind of pooches it a bit for the Oilers. So, I think they would be fine in a series again against LA or any one of these teams potentially. But I personally I'd rather not see LA. Got a reminder on Saturday. It's like, oh yeah, no, let's do something else. But the Ducks, man, like 3-5-2. I think this is a sign that they might not be ready. And they're on the cusp of doing something good and being in the playoffs, obviously, after some tough seasons, but they're not playoff serious, if you will, stumbling into the postseason the way they are. And I know they have some injuries, but this might be a postseason of learning for the Anaheim Ducks as opposed to a surprise run.
Fans, where are you at right now on the possible playoff matchups? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Troll says Oilers versus Kings in round one. A tradition unlike any other. I would probably, if I'm the Oilers, you win a division, that's great. But man, I think I would rather play the Ducks than the Mammoth.
Yeah, well, the Mammoth.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of a coin flip, I guess.
They're similar teams, Dusty.
Yeah, they are
similar teams. Like, they're young. They have very strong, up and coming, talented players. Cutter Gauthier, he hit 40 goals. We saw Dylan Gunther hit 40 goals. Like, they have a lot of similarities. I feel like the Ducks might be a little bit more of an in-your-face style of game, whereas the Mammoth might be more willing to play a skill game against you. But I look at them in a lot of similar lights. Like, they have good goaltending, like pretty steady goaltending, Dostal and Vamelka, and then their back ends, they have some good veteran defensemen on both teams. I think the Uyghur pickup was pretty good. Sergachev is good. And you look at John Carlson, that was a sneaky good pickup by the Ducks, and Jacob Trouba is on that back end. They have Gudis. Like, there's some similarities between the two teams. I just think, and maybe, I call the Ducks not a playoff ready type team, or not a playoff serious type team. Maybe the Mammoth are as well, but we'll see.
Collingwood Rob says, anyone but the Kings, please, for the sake of the children. Attaboy Stan says, Kings, Ducks, Mammoth, Vegas. That's my order of difficulty. Haji texts in, says, I'm most worried about Vegas in one of the first two rounds. It seems like they've been a better team after the coaching change. And Andrew, the accountant, says, I would rather watch Jays baseball than another Oilers King series. And that's saying a lot with the way that the Jays have looked so far. RCN is saying, not the Kings. I'd like to see Utah up close on my TV for a couple of weeks. So yeah, there's a lot of options. Pizza Boy, he says his list: 1 Mammoth, 2 Ducks, 3 Kings, 4 Golden Knights, 5 Gager's daughter in dance competitions. Gager was raving about his daughter and her ability at dance over the past weekend. Apparently she's an absolute superstar. So very that's talented. Nice to see. Hampton Steve points out that as a team battling injuries, I wouldn't want to play Gudis, Trouba, and the other goons on the Ducks in round one, which is an interesting way to look at it, for sure. I think so.
That's understandable.
Yeah, no, that's a valid way to look at it. Timber Woodsman says, I always love hearing from DB. So give me the Kings. Bernstein in the house, eh?
Yeah, I love him too. He is one of the best. So yeah, I guess that's the saving grace, is we'd get a full dosage of DB on our station, which is always a good thing.
Just speaking of the Kings, Forsberg is going to start for them tonight. They're taking on Seattle. He's 15-11-5, 2.57 goals against average, 909 save percentage, has 3 shutouts, including one recently. I don't know. What do you think? I thought Oilers had some chances. He made some good saves. But I also think, and they have the tendency to do this sometimes, and they were missing a guy like Hyman who definitely changes things around the net. But I don't know how hard he had to work for it to be really good in that hockey game. Is that fair, Tom?
Yeah. Well, the Kings played, I called it like a-hole hockey, where they were just annoying and buzzing and doing everything they can to be in the equipment, to steal Todd McClellan's term, of the Oilers all night long. You call it desperate hockey too. I think that would be very apropos. But when the Oilers had chances, Forsberg was very good. And we had Zach Dooley on the pregame show, and he was saying Forsberg's been the better goalie, Dusty. He's risen to the occasion, which is surprising given Kemper's pedigree, Kemper's ability to elevate his team in the postseason and stretch drives. He's no slouch. He was on the Olympic team because of how well he had been playing, but Forsberg gets hot at the right time. And whatever the Oilers were able to throw at him on Saturday, he was up to the challenge. And then on top of the fact that the guys in front of him went all out, they emptied the tank on the Oilers and snuck out a 1-0 win. So You're right. Like, didn't think he was amazing, but I thought he was pretty damn solid. And then I just think the way the Kings played, really feisty, annoying style, and the Oilers with injuries at the end of a road trip, all those things, maybe it caught up to them a little bit where they couldn't get that one to beat them.
Once again, that is the numbers game for Play Alberta. Play Alberta, the title sponsor of everything we do here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Download the Play Alberta app today. Get your casino games, sports, and lottery all in one place. You can click on EST specials in the sportsbook. That'll take you to our special page. And let's just quickly lay out everything we got for you over there because it's a busy night around the National Hockey League as far as EST plays go. The quickest parlay from the DGen Den is up. Rangers to win under 6.5 total goals in that game. And Jonathan Quick in his final game to make 23 or more saves plus 245. Lock shop partner parlay. Huss and I are all over tonight. Lightning, Rangers, Sabres, Kings, and Golden Knights. All the win at plus 890. Nice. Another one from the DGen Den, the grandest parlay. Dodgers to win, Ipswich to win, Rasmus Dahlin with an assist. We'll get to the whole Dahlin thing in a second. And Sharks and Preds both to score 2+ goals. That's plus 610. The early bird bet from the Nielson show today, Connor McDavid 2 points, a Bouche point, and the Oilers to win plus 270. And then Dusty's play of the day, a Matty Savoy point. Boosted from plus 135 to plus 151. And I believe Glue Guy's play of the day is going to be rolling in a Pod Colson point as well. Yep. So that's going to be coming up as well. But that is that's the picture right now over on the EST specials page at Play Alberta. It is the Oil Stream with Nielson and Gazzola, brought to you by Boston Pizza, where, let me just double check here. I want to see... Let's take a look at the playoff menu. Released in 18 hours. They've got the hockey gods with them this year, and they will be releasing the playoff menu in 18 hours. So tomorrow morning, bright and early, we will have the BP's playoff menu locked and loaded for another year at Boston Pizza.
Hey, speaking of the playoff menu, Tony asked Belzy and I if we wanted to see the playoff menu, and he's like, I need you guys to sign an NDA. We're like, get out of here, Tony. You wouldn't show us.
Did he actually have an NDA for you to sign?
No, but that's what he said. He's like,
that's a funny joke by Tony.
Yeah, you're hilarious, Tony.
Oh, Tony. Always finding the funny things. Captain Kirk texts and says, hey boys, Captain Kirk here. I can't seem to find your store for hoodies and hats on your page. Has it moved? Captain Kirk, we've just replaced it with the EST shirt, the EST playoff shirt for now. With that being said, I know Maddie's got a new EST swag thing popping up here over the next couple of weeks. And then we'll have the permanent online store up so you'll be able to go and find out anything that we still have in stock here and get your hands on that. So be patient on the hoodies and stuff, but they are coming. But right now we just got the T-shirt up so everybody can focus on that one for today. All right, over on the nasty chats, Jamie from Beaumont says, I'm tired of the Oilers and Kings, but on that note, not sure who is best to play, though. Statue Boss Production says, with all the injuries, the Oilers are ripe for the picking, in his opinion. Triple Crown says, I'm worried about nothing for the Oil. Let's see here. He says, all of them are beatable. Vandalay VP says, Gudis is good for at least one season-ending injury in a 7-game series. I like the Vandalay because we were talking about the T-shirt. I was ringing the Lloyd Braun bell when we got a T-shirt order on the show this morning. Yes. So then between shows, I was doing some work in the office, and I threw on that episode of Seinfeld because I wanted to watch it again. And that episode of Seinfeld had Lloyd Braun and the selling of the computers, Kramer's Anytown USA. Everybody set his thing up, and the kids got him. And he's Hoochie Mama, Hoochie Mama. And then also in that episode, Elaine was the shiksa. And everybody was trying to get a piece of her. And then Jerry's girlfriend thought it was fun, thought it was weird because he never got mad. So then he started getting mad all the time. They got extremely emotional and asked Elaine to marry him. Like it was the third episode of season 9. So that's the final season. And they were just firing on all cylinders in that episode, man. Like obviously you remember the Lloyd Braun episode, but then for that to also be the Kramer Anytown USA episode and Elaine Schick's episode, like, amazing that they had all 4 of those things going at once. Just phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Larry David was probably emptying the tank at that point, right?
Man.
And That was well in advance of Curb Your Enthusiasm becoming a thing. And actually, a later season episode that I watched last week was when George negotiates a worse deal with NBC, and he goes to the executive's place at dinner, and the executive has his girlfriend or whatever over, and she's so annoyed with George, and then George costs each of them, I think, like $5 or $10 grand off of the initial offer that NBC had given him because he was playing hardball. And then he leaves and you hear a knock and he's like, "Can I use the bathroom?" And you're just like, "Oh my God, George, you are the worst person." Like it's about 4 terrible people, let's be honest. And that's what makes It's Always in Philadelphia so good. It's about 5 horrible people, but it makes you feel better as a person. You're like, at least I don't do that. And those situations are somewhat relatable, but not completely.
At one point, maybe we have to do a bracket to crown the greatest Seinfeld episode ever.
Oh,
that could
tough.
be if the Oilers get eliminated from the playoffs like extremely early, and we need to actually spend a summer trying to keep people's minds off of them. Seinfeld episode bracket isn't the worst thing I've ever heard of.
No, it's not. I mean, like one of the best performances, but Jerry Seinfeld's not a great actor. He's a great comedian.
Yeah.
And he had 3 outstanding actors and support cast around him to help bring him up. And then obviously he found a rhythm a couple seasons in. But he did such a good job mimicking Kramer in the Kenny Rogers episode.
Yeah, that was good too.
He was so good. And the other one with Keith Hernandez, what's he say? Nice game, fancy boy, or whatever.
Nice. I have a T-shirt of that. I was wearing it last weekend. Nice game, pretty boy.
One, yeah. And they do the Zapruder film of the loogie, the magic loogie.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So when I first saw that, I hadn't seen JFK yet. So I didn't know that Newman was the actor from JFK, which is even better. Like that's even more brilliant if you think about it. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, sorry, Vandalay VP, you threw us for a loop with your handle over on the YouTube chat. And we got a little sidetracked there, but Love it. That was pretty good. All right, so the Oilers and the Avs tonight, Tommy. How much does the Hart Trophy hinge on tonight? Like if one of these guys gets a hat trick in this head-to-head battle tonight, does that, the narrative online will be like, that secures the Hart Trophy for McKinnon, or that secures the Hart Trophy for McDavid. But you think it really does?
No, I think it'll like leave an imprint on the voters. And listen, think of the voters how you want. I know people are all over the map. They called us a bunch of homers for our take in our social media post last week, but whatever. I think in general, no, not this game will not be the defining moment of the Hart Trophy vote, but I think it could persuade a couple of votes because there'll probably be a lot of eyes on this game or extra attention on it because of the 2 big dogs going head to head. But Dusty, that could lead us to like a 3+ point night from both guys. Yeah. And an absolute shootout, which A, selfishly, I would love to see. And B, I mean, it's just good for hockey. So, and again, I like McDavid's chances in that. I also don't think there's going to be any repercussion for McKinnon, by the way, from the collision with Ingram. I think a lot of people have forgotten that and gotten over. Yeah, I don't think there'd be anything on that one. Yeah. I don't think overall it's going to have a huge impact on the Hart Trophy vote to your initial question, but I think it has the potential to persuade a couple of votes, perhaps. We are cooking today over at Play Alberta. So as you said it, I did have them. I just messaged the team and I said, give us the Oil Stream shootout parlay. McDavid over 2.5 points, McKinnon over 2.5 points. I like it. I don't know what the number's going to be, but a race for the Hart Trophy with 2 dudes that talented. Yep. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. I don't know what that. I'd sprinkle that. Yeah, I don't know what that number would end up being, but we got them both over 2.5 points. If you want to see these guys go head to head. Tommy, did you catch Friedman and Pronger and Bieksa on the Norris Trophy conversation on Saturday? I did not. I spent the night sleeping, sneezing, coughing, and just utterly miserable. Well, you sound good today.
Yeah,
I'm better. My nostrils were like faucets this morning though, but I'm feeling better. Give us the
okay.
Coles
So
notes.
basically, so Chris, they came to them to talk about the Norris Trophy. Chris Pronger said that number one on his ballot right now is Rasmus Dahlin.
Okay.
And I was like, so I'm watching it, and I was kind of like everybody. I was like, oh, interesting choice. I haven't heard his name much. He's not among the odds-on favorites from a betting perspective to win it. And then Elliot Friedman chimes in and goes, me too. I also have Rasmus Dahlin on the number one spot on my ballot. And I thought, okay, well, this could change things to just this conversation alone. And then Bieksa chimed in and basically said, because they put up a list of top scoring defensemen. Right. And they put up a board of the top scoring defensemen in the league.
Right.
And then Bieksa said they were kind of doing a disservice to throw up that board because it's supposed to be an award for the most well-rounded defenseman. He goes, Cale Makar is the best defenseman in the league. So he was making a strong case for Cale Makar. I think, and then I thought they glossed over Werenski way more than they should have. And Bouchard's name came up at the end because Pronger said that he would have Bouchard number 2 on his list. Okay. So you've got Rasmus Dahlin, who obviously has some support. You've got Evan Bouchard, who will have some support. Mm-hmm. You've got Werenski, who's had a phenomenal season. Mm-hmm. And then, there's the Cale Makar is the best defenseman in the world vote that you're going to see from year to year as well with a lot of the writers. So I don't know, like, where's your mindset at on that trophy right now?
The Dahlin discussion is interesting. Like, Buffalo's had a tremendous season. I know he's dealt with some stuff with his wife and her health and the stuff that she's gone through. And he's almost a point a game guy, 72 points, 76 games, plus 16 for those wondering. I know he doesn't play like with an edge or anything, but he doesn't back down.
People
from
hate
anyone.
him. Opposing players try to get a piece of him all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Malkin got a big suspension for like whacking him over the head. Anyway, like I kind of get it, but that's not one of the guys that we've heard much about. I still think that at the end of the day, offense dictates voting on the Norris. And I think that Bouchard, outstanding offensive season, obviously, yes, hiccups defensively. We've seen them in the last couple of games, by the way. That goal the other day is a reminder.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be to his detriment, obviously. But he's been way better defensively the last little while than the first month and a half, 2 months. Werenski, now where's Columbus? Are they pretty much done now?
They're gonna miss the playoffs, but to me, you don't have to make the playoffs to win the Norris Trophy.
I feel like that casts a shadow, though, doesn't it?
I think it casts a shadow on the Hart Trophy. Because if you're I don't even know if it should, but it does. But so you're the best defenseman in the National Hockey League, but the rest of your team isn't good enough to make the playoffs. You can't win the award for best defenseman?
That's a good argument.
Like, Werenski has 81 points. Bush has 91 points. Werenski's played 6 fewer games and doesn't have Connor McDavid on his team.
You're right.
Right? He plays 3 more minutes. He leads his team. He's their best player. It's not even remotely close. He's got 15 more points than any other forward even on the team. I would vote for Zach Werenski. And I would also have Evan Bouchard in my top 3 on the ballot.
So would I.
So we'll see how it comes out. Huss is living in a world on the lock shop today. He says Oilers fans should start to brace themselves for not even seeing Bush in the top 3, which he looked at it and said, you saw the push on Hockey Night in Canada for Rasmus Dahlin. Mm-hmm. He said, Cale Makar is widely viewed as the best defenseman in the league, perennial. And then, obviously Zach Werenski in the season he's had, and he finished second last year. So there's the whole, he could have won it last year. Now here he is again this year. So I would disagree with us. Like, I think you'll see Bush in the top 3, but he made an interesting case and a reason maybe for Oilers fans to prep themselves to not see him in there.
What's interesting is it feels like a late campaign for Dahlin and what has thrusted him into this discussion all of a sudden when he kind of was on the outside looking in. His name really wasn't coming up a ton. I still think it'll be Makar, Werenski, and Bouchard as your finalists. That's what I think.
I think that's what it should be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it should be. That should be the 3.
I understand what Huss is saying, and maybe it happens, but I'm sorry. He's pushing a 100-point season, and you're not going to consider him for the Norris. Like he could put up 4 or 5 points and have 96 by the end of the year in these last 2 games. I'm talking about Bouchard here, and you're just going to be like, no. And his plus minus, if you want to use that as a point to make a case for him, is better than Dahlin's.
Penalty kills more than Rasmus Dahlin as well.
Yeah. Now he makes.
That's why I was so surprised that Pronger and Friedman both were like, he's the top guy on my ballot. I was like, I haven't really seen that anywhere or even thought about it remotely myself.
And that makes me wonder, like, who's pushing for this? Who's like in their ear saying, who should get some consideration? Dahlin. Huh. I'm not saying, Dahlin's a great defenseman. He's going to be a great defenseman for a lot more years. But that's interesting. Anyway, I think it'll be Bouchard.
This is going to be a really fun year because Bouch is so heavily involved legitimately in this conversation. Mm-hmm. I cannot wait to see when they reveal who everybody voted for. That's gonna be one of the most talked about reveal your votes that I think we've had a long time in the National Hockey League. Right? And we said this morning, like, even if Bouch doesn't win it, it was our that's good for the Italian Center today. Like, the fact that we're sitting here saying that Evan Bouchard, many people believe he should win the Norris Trophy. Do you realize how great that is compared to a couple of years ago when many people were like, you can't sign this guy, you got to trade him and use the money to find a different type of defense? Like, he's legitimately in the Norris Trophy conversation. This is a massive, massive step forward for Evan Bouchard, whether he has some blemishes. Rasmus Dahlin's got blemishes too. They all do. So we'll see how it goes.
Dusty, when that list is revealed and who votes for who, it will create nothing but rational, healthy, two-way discussions and conversations. There will be no animosity, anger, expletives involved in any of those discussions surrounding the Norris Trophy finalists. That's my prediction. And who voted for who.
Can't wait to see it.
Completely facetious, by the way.
Tommy, what time you get going tonight? What's the plan for pregame?
All right, we get going at 6:30. Another one of those weird 7:30 starts, which is fine. The sun's staying out longer. We're getting nicer weather, which makes it easier to stomach the later starts. But we've got Megan Angley from Guerrilla Sports in Colorado. She'll be hopping on, giving us the scoop on these Avs, who have had a monster season. Belzy will be with us, and it's going to be a great show. We'll get you all set up. We'll pass along any other tidbits of info we get for you. Just join us. It's a good pre- and post-game show, probably the best, I would say. But I'm heavily biased, but I'm also rational too.
All right, buddy. We have a good show, and we'll let you slide out. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Dusty. See you later.
There you go. That is Tommy Gazzola. GCL Diesel pregame show will get going at 6:30 tonight, setting up the Oilers and the Avalanche. Haji texts in and says, the same Oilers fans who are against Bouchard getting the Norris will be bitching when he doesn't win it. Troll says, McCarr is the best defenseman in the league. That doesn't mean he should win it. McDavid didn't win the Hart Trophy the last 2 years, but he's the best. Right? Yes, it is. It is about this season. And if it is truly just about this season, I do think it should come down to Werenski and Bouchard. Like, I think if it's just about this season, those two guys have been. Bouch started slow, but then he's been like even better than you could have imagined for a good stretch of the season. Koob, what do you think? What do you think happens with the Norris, buddy?
I think it's gonna go to Werenski. I think that's just the easy, obvious sort of pick. Bouchard's gonna get some votes. Like, I almost think Werenski could get a vote for the Hart. A couple people maybe.
If Columbus would have made the playoffs, Werenski would have got like 1 or 2 fifth place Hart Trophy votes.
Yeah,
like there would have been something would have been cast, and deservedly so. Something would have been cast for him later in that 5. I would think.
Yeah, I guess fair might be a bit bullish to say, or like if a first place vote for Werenski. But I mean, he's had an unreal season.
That probably wouldn't happen with the way it is, but
yeah. And he's slowed down toward the end of the season. Like, I was looking at his game logs. Like, he's gone a few stretch of games without a point as his team struggles to try and push for a playoff spot, and they're just out. So, I mean, I don't know. Bouchard, like, you could look at it month by month, but if you rack up those amount of points, like Bouchard is bounce back, unreal. People are going to forget about the first 2 months of the season.
No, but they never do.
Yeah,
right? As soon as Bush makes a mistake in the playoffs, everybody's going to be like, oh, God, he better not revert to the Bush that we saw in the first month of the season when he's been really good in the playoffs the last couple of years. You know, it's
yin and yang. People can't get the best of both, right? Like, I don't know. A lot to complain about on his game, but all right, he's so good. He's so exciting.
What's coming up on EST afternoons?
Well, Hernan and Gager are pretty exciting, and they'll have some exciting guests as well. Of course, Oilers, Avs, McDavid, McKinnon tonight. Evan Rawal from Denver, the Denver Gazette, will be checking in 1:40 to give some perspective on the Colorado Crew. There will be some Norris discussion as well. Hernan and Gager will go through the top candidates for the trophy and share some stats about all of them. Hernan's Noticias as well. We'll talk some Jays, talk some Raptors. Anthony Mingione will also be checking in the second hour to talk about the Flyers and their push to try and get the X beside their name in the standings.
Busy show coming up on EST afternoons from 1 until 3. The Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 6. And then, of course, the GCL Diesel pregame show gets rolling at 6:30 till 7:30 when the puck drops. And then after the game, Tommy and Belzy and Benny will be back to break down the Oilers and the Avs, which should be a highly entertaining game today. The Oil Stream has been brought to you by Boston Pizza. They're releasing their playoff menu in about 18 hours. And I'm sure it's going to be absolutely delicious, just like last year. So Tom Gazzola, I'm Dustin Nielson. I'll be breaking down that game tomorrow morning on the Nielsen Show, bright and early at 6 o'clock on TuneIn, on iHeart, on YouTube, and over on 95.7 Cruise FM. Take it easy.